The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. Police investigating the country's latest murder. A fetus found floating in a bag in waters off Paradise Island. And the SpaceX search expanding. Reports of debris now off Andros. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, March 12th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Deandra Cartwright will be here, filling in for Chester Robards. Also, going to be talking with MD Cares about the work that they are doing in the fight against cancer. And later in business, World Consumer Rights Day is approaching. We're going to talk about consumer rights here in the Bahamas. That's all ahead, but first, it's time for the Overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, investigations continue now into the latest murder in the country. A man, we're told, in his late 20s, fatally shot. This happened in the Fleming Street area last night. According to police, officers were on routine patrol in the DeVoe Street area when they heard gunshots. They responded. That led them to Fleming Street, where they found the victim suffering multiple gunshot wounds. Police asking for anyone with information on this matter to contact them as soon as possible. Police also investigating what led to a fetus being discovered inside a bag that was floating in waters near Ocean Club Estates. According to Chief Superintendent Sharia King, an employee was cleaning debris from waters at the dock of the marina around 10 a.m. yesterday when he found the bag with the fetus. Police saying it's unclear where the bag came from. Again, they're asking for anyone with any information to come forward, and also noting that a person may need medical assistance and that person needs help right now. The search for debris from the exploded SpaceX Starship rocket that fell in Bahamian territory last week is set to expand to Andros after reports that some debris has washed up there. That's according to Director of the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection, Dr. Rhiannon Neely. She says that the heat shields recovered along the coast of Ragged Island will be tested to confirm whether the material poses risk to marine life. Neely was asked whether there is any evidence of damage to marine life. She says that at this time, the answer is no, quote, "There are some things that are outstanding with respect to the material for the heat shield. They seem to be flaking off pretty quickly, and they have the potential to turn into microfragments." Neely says a SpaceX recovery team remains in the Bahamas and is involved in the search for debris. That Starship rocket launched from a starbase in Boca Chica, Texas, broke apart, falling over Bahamian Islands on Thursday evening. That incident causing mass concern among Bahamians. Neely says heat shields from the rocket were found along Ragged Island. So far, the team has searched Crooked Island, Acklands, and Exuma. The Dep director says the heavier material from the rocket has not been found. And proposed labor law changes, which would include expanded maternity leave, are being crafted with input from trade unions and employers. That's according to Minister of Labor and Public Service, Pia Glover-Roll. She says that further consultation will take place before final recommendations are made. Glover-Roll responding to concerns raised by the government's planned labor law reforms from representatives of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation. BCCEC President Leo Roll recently told the Tribune that while the proposed reforms may sound good, economic impact assessments must be conducted before they are introduced. Overseas, Russian ballistic missiles killed at least 5 civilians in Ukraine. This today, a day after Trump administration officials lifted its suspension of military aid for Kyiv's fight against Russian invasion, and Ukrainian officials signaled that they were open to a 30-day ceasefire. The Kremlin didn't comment on the agreement between the U.S. and Ukraine on the provision of further military support, including intelligence sharing and the possibility of a ceasefire that Washington backs. A Kremlin spokesperson saying Wednesday that it's important not to get ahead of the question of responding to the 30-day ceasefire proposal. He told reporters that Moscow is awaiting detailed information about it from the U.S. and suggested Russia must get that before it can take a position. The Russian missiles killed 4 Syrian men between the ages of 18 and 24 on a ship docked at the southern port of Odessa late Tuesday, where it was unloading or loading Ukrainian wheat for Algeria. Another missile killed a woman in Kryvyi. That's President Volodymyr Zelensky's hometown in central Ukraine. Former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte being flown to the Netherlands today to face an international criminal court charge of crimes against humanity linked to the deadly crackdown on drugs he oversaw while in office. The 79-year-old Duterte's arrest Tuesday on a warrant issued by the global court was hailed by human rights groups and families of victims as a major breakthrough and step toward ending impunity. Flight tracking data showed that after leaving Manila, the jet carrying Duterte waited for hours in Dubai before taking off again, apparently headed for Rotterdam, The Hague airport. The court didn't immediately comment on the flight, but Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. saying yesterday that police arrested Duterte when he returned from a trip to Hong Kong and sent him to the ICC. And hospitals across eastern Congo that were once at the forefront of the country's response to the Mpox outbreak are facing a setback in detecting the disease after offering treatment following the advance of Rwanda-backed rebels in the region. The Mpox global health emergency is worsening as the fighting between the M23 rebel group and Congolese troops escalates in eastern Congo, which has been the epicenter of the health crisis. Many patients have fled and can't be found. Recently arrived vaccines are running short as supplies can't reach combat zones. Hospitals have been under attack as well. The Associated Press visited one of the Mpox hotspots, which is now under control of M23 rebels, backed by neighboring Rwanda. Health workers and remaining patients described a growing disaster. The country, meanwhile, continues to battle other diseases in the east, including cholera and measles, in addition to mysterious outbreaks that recently started in the western and northwestern region. In sports, a tough loss for Team Bahamas at the 2025 CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships. Team Bahamas blew a golden opportunity, losing to Panama in their opening game Tuesday night at the Malcolm Park Beach Soccer facility. Team Bahamas' all-time leading scorer, Leslie St. Fleur, sailed a penalty kick high with 10.7 seconds remaining in extra time, and almost with an identical placement, he missed again on the Bahamas' fifth penalty kick opportunity. After both teams failed to score in extra time, Panama converted 4 of their 5 opportunities and won 4-3 in penalty kicks after the score was deadlocked at 2 at the end of regulation. With the win, Panama avenging a 4-2 loss to the Bahamas in the quarterfinals 2 years ago. Led by its world record holder and world indoor champion, the Bahamas is all set for the 20th World Athletics Indoor Championships, March 21st through 23rd in Nanjing, China. A 5-member team from the Bahamas leaves on March 17th and returns on March 24th. That team's going to include Devon Charlton, who will be defending her world title in the women's 60 meters hurdles. Her younger sister, Anthea Charlton, will also be competing in the women's 60 meters and 40 and long jump. Denisha Cartwright will join Devon in the women's 60 hurdles, and Camille Rutherford will join Anthea in the women's 60 meters. Wendell Miller will travel from Jamaica to compete in the men's 400 meters. More on the team in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NBA, the wins and accomplishments keep piling up for the NBA leading Cleveland Cavaliers. They've been so frequent that players are having a hard time keeping track. And then the Cavaliers roaring to a 109-104 victory over Brooklyn Tuesday. Cleveland tying its franchise record for consecutive wins with 15 after setting the mark in the first 15 games of the season, and is tied for the 5th best start in NBA history with a 55-10 record. Even with all-star shooting guard Donovan Mitchell and 6-man DeAndre Hunter and sharpshooter Ty Jerome in street clothes and on the bench, the Cavaliers rallied from an 18-point deficit in the second half against the Nets. Mitchell battling a groin soreness. By the way, all-star guard Darius Garland, who scored 18 of his 30 points in the fourth quarter, said Mitchell's message to him was concise during the comeback. Shoot the ball, quote, end quote, was all he said. And shortly after Zion Williamson's second triple-double in 2 weeks, he was asked whether he might be in the best shape of his career and if he'd really shed as many as 20 pounds from his listed weight of 284. The 6'6" star power forward smiled and began to deliver his teasing answer, saying, quote, "I guess I'm going to do what I've been doing my whole career. I'll let the media have fun with it." Whatever the case, Williamson is showing an ability to take over games in spectacular fashion and delight fans who still show up to see him play. The Pelicans getting a 127-120 victory over the Los Angeles Clippers Tuesday night. Williamson's 22-point, 12-assist, and 10-rebound performance against the playoff contending Clippers, an exhibition of contagious energy and force, especially for all the fans in attendance. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. We got your first look at weather for the morning. We've got a weak high-pressure system that's going to emerge out of the Gulf of Mexico and move into our area over the next few days. This feature, along with an extremely dry and stable air mass, will support mostly clear skies, gentle breezes, and mild temperatures, with overnight lows anticipated to reach below seasonal norms tonight. A surface ridge is going to strengthen across the area, with winds and temperatures gradually increasing through the weekend. Some light, short-lived showers may develop for the first half of the day, Friday. And another cold front is expected to move off the coast of Florida, moving into the Bahamas by late Monday. High pressure is going to build behind that. And we may see some cooler temperatures and strong gusty winds as that front moves in, especially by midweek next week. For the meantime, beachgoers and swimmers are strongly urged to remain onshore while on Atlantic beaches due to the risk of strong rip currents and rough surf. For today, for most areas, we're going to see sunny conditions turning fair tonight, less than a 10% chance of showers. Winds north to northeast at 10 knots or less, falling light and variable at times, veering east to southeast at 10 knots tonight. Temperatures look for highs around 78, 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight. For the northern and northwest Bahamas, getting as low as into the 50s tonight. 55, 54, 55 possible. That's 12 Celsius. Maybe even a little bit cooler for the extreme northern islands. For the central and southeast, highs in the upper 50s or around 60 Fahrenheit. So about 15, 16 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, wake up.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Spain sounds like this. But with a little Caribbean, it can sound like this. The world needs more Caribbean. And with FedEx, you can ship your products to every corner. With increased cargo capabilities, 24/7 shipment tracking, and shipping tools, take your business worldwide and enjoy life a bit more like us.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your to chance, and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village. Or call 396...
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com, app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. We're expecting Deandra Cartwright to join us in a moment, filling in for Chester Robards, who was here on Monday. Also this morning, we're going to be talking with MD Cares. We're going to be finding out the work that they're doing and their special initiatives they have coming up as they are deep in the fight at Bahamas. And later, World Consumer Rights Day is March 15th. In the lead up to that, there are a number of events happening here in the Bahamas, and we're going to talk about consumer rights as well in this country. That's all ahead. But right now, let's get into what else is in the news. And joining us now, Deandra Cartwright. Deandra Cartwright, it's a big day for Deandra Cartwright.
Day to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Who didn't eat up all the food, didn't drink down all the rum sweet. We can scrape it dance all night long to the sounds of the ancient man.
Happy birthday, Deandra.
Thank you so much, Dwight. Yes, it is a big day. Happy to be here on Morning Blend with you.
Oh, boy. Look at that. And we blame Chester Robards for having you be here on your birthday. He's normally here on Wednesdays. You do Mondays, but he asked you to switch with him because he's busy, he says.
Oh,
but, boy,
he's too busy for us? Is that what it is?
I guess so. But don't be so sorry about that. But I hope you have a lot of special things planned other than hanging out with us for a little bit.
I do indeed. I do indeed. But I'm a busy bee, so there is always something to do.
Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate you being here with us. Thank you very much, and I hope you have many, 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 many more.
Thank you so much, Dwight. That means a lot.
All right. So, hey, there's a lot to talk about, a lot going on. The beach soccer, let's begin with that. That's the good thing, the positive thing going on. The beach soccer championships, the 2025 CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships going on right here in Nassau. Started yesterday. Team Bahamas taking on Panama last night at 8 p.m. And, oh, man, that was an exciting game. I actually went out there and amazing, but very close. Tough loss for Team Bahamas. At the end of regulation, they were tied at 2 apiece. And they had to and they went to overtime and still tied. So that they ended up having to do the penalty kick shootout thing, which is, if you watch soccer, that is just awful. And that's when you're biting all your nails. Oh, man, it's terrible. Nails on the edge of the seat. And the first 3, both of them got the first 3, both is back and forth, like, oh gosh, how is this going to end? And then they both missed. We could do this. We could do this. And the 5th, we missed the 5th, and they got it. And so it ended up 4-3 in the penalty round. Man, that hurt. But, tonight they're going to face off against the USA. That is going to be a tough team as well. But that's 8 o'clock, folks. You got to show up. It was a good crowd last night, but we could fill the stands even more. It's free, 2 p.m. with matches, and Team Bahamas plays 8 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So tonight at 8, they're playing Trinidad and Tobago tomorrow at 8, but tonight is the USA, and we need everybody out there. It's free, folks. Free. So show up.
And support our team. It means so much to athletes when they're performing, when they're participating in these sports, to hear the support in the crowds. And they're the home team, so let's try to get out there. I couldn't get out last night because, as everybody knows, I'm a good Anglican, and we wrapped up our mission, but I'm hoping to be out tonight as well. So
what are you trying to say? So the people who went to the Anglicans who went to this beach soccer are not the good Anglicans, DeAndrew? Is that what you're saying?
No.
That's what it sounds like you're saying.
Everybody knows that I'm a good Anglican. So when I say it like that, that means I got things that I got to do for the people in the church.
Interesting. All right. It's your birthday, so we'll let that slide. But all right. But hey, so I hope that means, well, you probably have birthday plans, so I won't put any pressure on you. But other folks, come on out and support the Junkanoo Boys tonight. Okay. So while that was happening, and there was so much good energy there, so much fun and excitement, not far away, there was chaos and madness and another murder here in New Providence.
Another one.
Take a listen to what the police are saying about this. This is Police Chief Superintendent Sharia King.
While officers were on patrol, their routine patrol in the DeVoe Street, they heard gunshots. When they made checks into DeVoe Street, it led them to Fleming Street. And at Fleming Street, they found an adult male suffering from what appears to be gunshot wounds, multiple gunshot wounds about the body. The initial report, the victim was walking on Fleming Street when a single male, masked, on a motorcycle, pulled up or rode up on the side of him, fired shots in his direction, fatally wounding him. We are appealing to the Bahamian public that if you have any information into this matter, please contact the police.
Okay, Police Chief Superintendent Sharia King there. So this is the third in 4 days since Saturday? Fourth? What?
Listen, it's seeming more.
Oh my goodness, can't keep up.
No, the trend, it just keeps intensifying. I hope somebody comes forth with some details on this.
Okay, sure. But yeah, terrible. As you say, they're trends, they're patterns, yeah, my producer might be right. I think it is 4 since Saturday. Oh man. Hey, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the contrast going on in this country, how we can have such amazing things happening at the same time as the foolishness. That is the way of the world and humans, but it just feels like because we're on such a small island that it's in concentrated form. Let's talk. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. Police aren't saying whether that was a robbery or anything. It doesn't sound like it was. Somebody on a bicycle? Motorbike or bicycle? Is it? Huh. Okay. Let's see. Police were in the DeVoe Street area.
We have to ask. Did they say anything about CCTV footage?
They never do. No.
Okay.
Right? They never do.
We continue our call for working CCTV footage. It would be very helpful.
No, motorcycle. Okay. Yeah, motorcycle. Somebody on a motorcycle pulled up and shot him.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So when asked if the victim was known to police, this is according to the Tribune, Chief Superintendent King declined to confirm, stating that the investigation remains in the preliminary stages. And so, yes, they were advising they are conducting an investigation, so they don't want to get ahead of that. Also declined to confirm whether the victim was being electronic. As officers continued processing the crime scene, investigators were seen examining a bicycle in the parking lot of Evangelistic Temple on Blue Hill Road near the crime scene. Chief Superintendent King said, yes, bicycles related when asked about the connection to the shooting. So there is a bicycle and a motorcycle in this story. Oh boy.
Multiple modes of transportation.
My goodness gracious.
Does that mean that there are multiple perpetrators?
Maybe his bicycle? And the other one, okay. No. The latest homicide marks a third recorded in recent days, raising concerns among residents about the uptick in violence. However, Chief Superintendent King stated at this time that there is no evidence linking this case to any other recent killings. Well, it is early still, though, right? She said, quote, at this time, we do not have any information to say that these matters are related. Officers were literally on patrol in the area and responded within a minute. So as you can see, our officers are out there and they're doing their required of them to keep the country safe. Well, okay. Yeah, so that was what was said last night at the scene. Okay, text us 422-4796. Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Caller, good morning. You are on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
And happy birthday to your guest.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wish you many, many more. You enjoy your special day. Good
Appreciate
morning to the Bahamas. Dwight, this drive-by and jumping over cars, now they riding on motorbikes now. And they're shooting up, our men just killing up one another. This is crazy, Dwight. The men are the backbone and the strength of any country. And look what our men are doing. Every day they just killing one another. This ain't making no sense. All right? And our police officers, they only could do so much, Dwight. They can't stop a man from jumping on a motorbike to ride down and see a man walking, shoot the man, kill the man, and ride off. All they doing in a car. Our police officers, and the community, we need to start to pull together and get these murderers, these fellas who feel like it's okay just to pick up a gun and kill another human being for whatever reason. We got to get serious with this, Dwight, and our lawmakers. And what happens? Even if we catch the right person, right, Dwight, we put them in Fox Hill. Feed them 3 meals a day. Huh? They get medical, they get all these things off the taxpayer.
Medical.
We give them bail. They come back out on the street. Either they get killed or they kill somebody else again. We got to get serious with our laws, man. Serious, Dwight. I know you getting tired reporting these same things every day. Because I am. And every Bahamian should be fed up.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We do have to get it together. We've been making this appeal for years. But it does seem that some are very comfortable with the way things are right now and not really willing to do anything about it or much. You were saying?
I don't. No, I was saying, I agree that it seems that, I mean, we go back to our conversation last week, Dwight, about persons perhaps becoming desensitized to these things happening on a frequent basis because we have to admit the trends are there. We were looking at the statistics over the years. This is insane. It's continuity when we're talking about the crime going on. I, I'm I don't want to go down that road today about persons being so comfortable with it because they possibly may be, I don't know if there's, I don't want to say benefits, but why is it continuing? And I know I usually look at our social fabric, right? Which is deteriorating for many reasons. Um, but I can't help but wonder, have we done enough insight, as in work, research, to try and understand why these things are happening? Because if you have persons who continue to commit the same crimes, but then you also have the young persons going into that lifestyle, are we studying that? Are we trying to understand it? Are we trying to rehabilitate? Are we targeting those who are instigating these things and those who may be protecting them, or even law enforcement in some cases, as some of the callers were saying last week? There's so many different factors inside this situation, and I'm just wondering what more could be done.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with you on part of this, right? So I think we can figure out what the reasons are for this, the motivations. It's a lot of nonsense. Some of it will be economic, and some of it will be for street cred, right? But the issue is, as you keep mentioning, there are patterns. And if you look back at some of the people who've been victims of crime, especially murder, they will tell you that recently they had a brother who was killed or a father who was killed. Their two cousins were killed last year, something like that, right? We know, based on this, who's likely to become the next victim. What are we as a community doing to steer those left behind away from this life? And it seems that we are just leaving these people to go whichever direction they want. There is not the approach to say, well, you aren't going to be the next victim. We're going to make sure we've got all these programs for you. We are going to ensure that you won't end up like your dad, your brother, whatever. And it becomes a generational thing, it seems. And we keep saying it. We see it all the time. There are children at these crime scenes. They're standing there over the dead body. And we just say, oh, that poor child. And that's the end of it. Does anybody ever follow up to see how is that kid doing? How she saw her father. She was there covered in blood when he was shot. How is she a year later, 5 years later, 10 years later?
But Dwight, you're talking about the short-term memory of Bahamians and the system that's supposed to support them.
Wow.
That's a hard reality. And that approach is not just when we're dealing with the social problems, it's political problems, almost every aspect of our lives. We tend to have, I don't know, do they call it ostrich syndrome? I'm just, again, going back.
Well, you see, that answers the question, right? Because of that, like, this is a problem today, I'm going to get all worked up, and then tomorrow I'm on to something else. This is explaining why we are seeing this every day. Somebody getting shot, people get worked up for a couple of hours, and then they move on to the next distraction. And it will continue like this because people are like, I have to get revenge for my cousin. Oh, that's my boy. You can't do my boy like that. I got to get, right? And then, so they're all left there to stew and carry on and kill each other and be just like, oh boy, wow, and then move on. It'll never stop. It'll never stop until we get serious.
As a people, as a collective,
Yeah.
I think we just be very clear on that too. Because Dwight, you and I have this conversation, I feel like every week at this point, right? our community, our people, I feel like there's always um, pressure put on the government, right, without acknowledging that as a community, us as individuals, we also play a part in this. And I think that's the question that we have to continue asking. What are we doing as individuals, as families, as communities to help mitigate this issue? It can't just be law enforcement. It can't just be the judiciary. It can't just be the schools. It can't just be the police. I'm just again going back to the reality. This is a systematic issue that we have, and it has to be approached as such. It's not going to solve this. We're seeing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
We
indeed.
already know that the system requires some redevelopment. Rehabilitation needs to be intensified, and we need to be up, as you clearly you had stated earlier before. Are we checking on those persons who were impacted? Because again, the statistics would show that if you are exposed to a particular type of lifestyle or particular outcomes and whatnot, you are more likely to engage or be affected by it again.
Yeah. Yeah. And we know this. We've known this.
Yes, for
And
years.
yet, here we are. Look how many times they talk to somebody's mother or grandmother at the scene, and she could riddle off all those names of people who were killed in her life. And intervene. And we're not doing a thing. Just giving her names of morticians and T-shirt manufacturers so they can print a T-shirt with somebody's face on it. That's all they get. Let's take these calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Yes. Good morning to both of you. Good morning, Ms. Cartwright. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I celebrated mine last Thursday, so welcome to the Happy Birthday March month.
Wonderful. Happy belated.
Happy belated birthday, my fellow March.
Thank you so much. Mr. Strachan, you mentioned about revenge and retaliation. Mm-hmm. And I firmly believe, even though we have the problems with other elements such as the gangs and whatever else, but I firmly believe that retaliation is a big thing.
Yeah.
Because, like you mentioned, someone is going to revenge somebody else for their relative's death, and they'll go on because I firmly believe that with stronger laws, yes, and programs that really reach, and I'm not talking about just on the surface, but deep down programs that reach the souls of these persons to find out what it is that is truly bothering you to the extent that you would take up a weapon and take somebody else's life. Mm. I truly believe until we can address that and find out what's really happening, why would you just go out in broad daylight? Maybe then we can have some resolution, not perhaps eradicate it completely, but let's find out what's driving, like someone mentioned, persons to deal with it in this manner, so extreme.
There's got to be some hopelessness in there somewhere, right? Like, why do you think you've got nothing to lose and that this is the way you should be going? You can just throw everything into the wind.
Because what happens is whenever you decide yourself will become a killer, mm-hmm. just like the person who killed your relative.
Yeah. And a potential victim.
Of course. So, it really, I feel as though we really need to stop playing in this country. As someone mentioned earlier, mm-hmm. take this, the bull by the horn, as people usually say, and look at this. I mean, the programs need to be a little more intensified, and that's truly my feeling and my opinion.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for calling. Appreciate it.
All right.
Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You are on the air live.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
And good morning, Ms. Cartwright.
Morning.
Happy birthday, mine's tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, man, Dwight, look here. I know you, for a little while, from ever since you came on this radio, right? The cry always it continue to be, right? What are we doing, right? What are we doing? What are we doing, right? Yeah, we could do a lot more as a people, right? But I still think, right, if the people have no fear from the country, because the people we ain't never really run this country, right? We have other people running this country the way they want it to run, and we have to just admit that and understand that, right? So while there isn't all of the Bahamian citizens bad inside this country, and a lot of us are trying to do our best to what the little we can do, right? But when there isn't no fear in a nation to commit crime from no aspect, right? From a politician aspect to a janitress aspect, right? There's no fear to commit a crime. So when we have a nation being red like that, because you grow up inside this country from in the 80s when we saw this seed was planted, right? Because it was no fear, and over the years, right, people just got fearless, right? Until we start seeing what we see in today, because at the end of the day, Dwight, it isn't no fear to commit a crime. Mm-hmm. When we can find people being arrested for allegedly smuggling guns, and then you had a case, you even had a case come up, right? Oh, we saw this over and over in this country, right? And then we see people getting charged who they find with multiple guns and ammunition. People go get sentenced more, get in drugs or possession with marijuana than some of these people could committing the heinous crime. So when we live in a society like that, where it appears that our legislation, right, that they don't really have a clue of what they're doing. Somebody have to be fair. If the child ain't fearful of the parents, right, here's what they can do. Anything in the front of them, in the presence of them, or right in their midst, that's what they can do, because there isn't no fear. So when we can start putting some fear in the citizens, or we can continue with the approach, believing that all we have to do is just pray about it, or we just go to church and or we just find a committee and we just no.
Yeah. All right.
We have to put fear inside our citizens.
I want to ask you.
Pick up an arm.
Okay, so I got some calls coming in, but I want to ask you this. So what does that fear in the people look like to you?
Okay, the fear in the people look like to me, right? When there's fear, it will be more peace and safety, because why?
I get that, but I mean, what should it look like? So, I mean, because I'm thinking, I've been saying this forever, that we have to crack down on the small things, right? Right now, someone sent me a picture of...
Right, I agree with you.
So I don't necessarily mean capital punishment, which some people are going to say that's a good way to put fear in people, which is not. But not necessarily that. On the small things.
On the things, right? And when it's necessary for capital punishment, right? Because see, if it's necessary, it's necessary, right? But we can't give nobody what selling marijuana on the side of the road capital punishment, right? That ain't gonna make no sense. But then whatever the penalty for the crime, it needs to be given out to the point that the next person thinking about that same crime, whether it's small or medium or large, they know what the consequences can be, and it can be allotted to them. They can be given to them, Dwight.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, so he's talking about that, right? So just as we're speaking, and I've seen so many videos, is every day apparently this is happening, and that means that a whole lot of people know about this, DeAndre, right? So a friend of mine sent me a picture right now of the situation there in bumper-to-bumper traffic on Glasson Road northbound, right? But somebody overtaking all the cars, heading into oncoming traffic, and then there's somebody overtaking that person. They're driving on the grass. So the people heading southbound have to get out of the way of these people who are overtaking. And every day there are pictures like this all over Twitter, I think Instagram too, because apparently this is a common thing. Glasson Road is only two lanes, but people make it 4 and 5 every morning. People know about this. Is anything being done about it? No. So you're allowed to do whatever the heck you want on the streets of New Providence, and you can get away with it. So why not try to take a little more from that company that you work for? Because, you might get away with it. And especially if you're working for the government. Oh, you can try to take, because you can do whatever you want. And that type of thing gets into the minds of young people who have a beef with somebody and like, I'm going to do this. I don't care. What do I have to lose? I got no future, and I will take a chance and try to take that one out. It's all related. You are allowed to do whatever you want here, especially if you know the right people. And that is the mentality of most people living in the country now. And it starts with these small things. Tell me I'm wrong. You're one of the people probably breaking the law every day. But this is where it starts. CCTV, DeAndre, is a joke because they have the cameras everywhere. They're not doing anything with it. They are seeing people commit crimes every day, and only unless you kill somebody will they go back and look at the footage.
So are you trying to say that there is some sort of extremity range for the usage of CCTV?
I don't know. Do they use it? Does it work? They were able to determine with the car accident a couple weeks ago what time it was, but they certainly weren't watching it. Nobody was there monitoring it.
Did we ever get an answer for that, to know how are they monitored?
They were able to tell what time it was. So they were able to rewind the tape and look back. That's how they use it. Boy, somebody got killed there 5 hours ago. Oh, wow, look at that. Good stuff. It'll never change. It'll never change. People need to be penalized. All these, I can zoom in and see the license plate numbers. If you wanted police, you want to go after this clown who's overtaking everybody on Glaston Road, and the clown who's overtaking that clown, you want to do that? No, you don't care. So if nobody cares about those things, shoot your shot, right? Do whatever you think you can do and get away with it. That's the message we send to everybody here. Literally, shoot your shot. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, stabilizers like you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to both of you, actually, because whenever she's celebrating, you seem to be happy, too.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, you made it sound like a baby this morning.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
Anyway, rewind the tape. Like you say, you
Wow.
want the police to rewind the tape, rewind the tape.
All right.
No, but
Sure.
Dwight, I think we need to look at the three modalities we are faced with as humans. We have people who will initiate something, and probably after it escalates, you have someone who will come in and try to stabilize it, and then you got someone like me on the side who's going to be adapting to it and taking bets. And this is the cycle of our humanity when you really look at it, because we thrive on this. So we need to get people to become more stabilizers. When it begins to escalate, try to cool. Don't bring it on no further. Just let it swell out. But we want it to become that phase where we can become the adapter and take bets. Lawyers win that way. You know the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks a lot. By the way, so the picture that I was talking about, the photo. The car overtaking everybody in oncoming traffic. We can see the license plate for that one. But the one that's overtaking that one, that's on the grass, that's a Nissan Cube. So whenever I see a Nissan Cube, Anyway. Sorry?
You're beefing?
No. Nothing wrong with the vehicle. It's just the people who drive them. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Are you there? Good morning. Hi, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Doing well.
Happy birthday to go guest.
Thank you.
All right. I heard you mention the CCTV, right? I think it's sometimes it's not irresponsible to put a person with the CCTV in terms of the police monitoring. You realize that there are hundreds of CCTV in the island, right?
Okay.
You think a police can be watching each one of them every minute?
But maybe they don't have to be police. It can be somebody else.
Yeah, but you think how someone to watch all those?
This is how it works in countries with low crime rates. There's somebody monitoring. And you can use AI to help if there's strange activity. Can you turn on your radio for us, please? Turn on your radio. All right, so it's technology that can help with that. So
I guess there can be technology that will eliminate the need for human beings. I would agree with you with that, but as it stands now, I don't think we're at that level. But,
well, that means we'll be at this murder level for a long time to come then.
Yeah, I know. But I think crime, remember the Bible mentioned that men will be lovers of themselves. When a man, man and woman, they may love themselves, they think about themselves. So the person would have no problem giving the old lady medicine money because they need to worry about themselves. So same with crime. People only look at what their issues is. They don't care if they hurt somebody or hurt some people or whatever. They're doing what is suiting for themselves. So until we start to be our brother's keepers and show that, we can stay with those kind of problems.
Well, if you want to hold on to that, well, good luck. Until that happens, you have to crack down on everything.
No, I agree. I agree. You have to deal with what needs to be dealt with. I agree with you. I don't have no problem with that. But it starts with us. That's the problem. It starts with us, each one of us individually.
No, well, okay. It'll start with us once people realize that there are penalties for everything that you do that's wrong, right? And because right now it's very hard to tell that teenager, don't drive a car without a license plate on it. Don't drive a car without having a driver's license or insurance. It's very hard when they can hear on the news people getting a slap on the wrist when they do commit crimes or have a terrible accident in a vehicle and they fit in that category. It's very hard to get anybody to comply with anything when they feel like, hey, how many months? That's it? I could probably do that. So we are sending the wrong messages to everyone.
Yeah, I agree with you. For years, I was saying that you have too much prisoners who we know for a fact is doing a crime, and they seem to be doing fine in the country, and some of those prisoners go on to be people in the community with hold positions, knowing that they were doing crime all these years. So if they crime no pay, it shows that crime does pay in some instances, and that's what causes persons to not want to obey the law and go the hard way. They wanted to make it easy so that they can benefit, like they see their uncle, their daddy, their sister, their mother did because of the protection of the state. So it's a lot of things we need to do, but we need to get it right.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. One more call before we have to take a break. Message to get to as well. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Miss Cartwright. Happy birthday to you. May God richly bless and abide upon you. Hey, Dwight, I only called because, we've been talking about this now for a dozen years, right? But you made a point concerning the use of technology. And the problem is that you may use technology, but are you using it correctly in its proper perspective? Oh, by the way, Dwight, why don't we just, what happened to giving all these criminals jobs like the Prime Minister promised when he was in that other country? What came up with the application process for them to come in? Maybe that $260 a week might change things. But going back to
which criminals? You mean?
Which
criminals? What do you mean?
When he was in some country, another country, because he says he has one message for us and one message for the world. I would assume the world is watching, and he had promised to give them all jobs, the gangs and everyone else that's committing the crimes. I'm going to have to find that headline.
You're going to have to find that one. I don't remember it being like that.
Yeah.
But okay.
But he did. He said they will all get jobs and be paid at the minimum wage, and they'll be busy working as opposed to committing crime.
You mean the people in general?
Beg pardon? No, criminals. He was talking about, one of his crime speeches.
Okay, send that to me, please.
Okay.
I don't remember that. Clearly, I'm blocking that one out because that was...
But Latrey, call in and tell Dwight about it. The problem is this, right? We have to understand how technology works in relation to crime. First of all, there's something called descriptive analytics, predictive analytics, descriptive analytics, predictive analytics, and it's descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. And so those are what they call the analytics continuum, right? Then there's applications in place, which moves to predictive modeling, predictive policing, and artificial intelligence that you speak of. All these countries that we talk about utilizes all of these as part of that continuum. The problem is we are, and Nahaj Black spoke about this as part of the technology initiative, we are good at buying technology, consuming technology, but we don't understand the underlying use of it. Because what happens is when you move to what's called predictive policing, because first it moves to predictive modeling, right? And this is kind of like a tool set that creates the statistical models for forecasting. Then this predictive policing that we've been talking about for 8 years, which applies these models to law enforcement. And you talk about these cameras and then cloud sourcing all this other information into the whole concept that we talk about. And this is where we have to talk about things it moves into the interconnectivity and codependence of digitization, digitalization, datamation, datafication, and digital transformation. I hope I'm not losing anyone. The point I'm making is we're in the 21st century, and picking random stuff off the shelf and not understanding how they actually work individually and collectively serves no purpose. And like everything that you said about people watching, and you artificial intelligence learn behavior, environment, just by observing what happens. It also allows you to lock in. When I made this recommendation about 8 years ago, the whole concept behind it, too, was to give people into a certain range of cameras for them to buy and to cloud source all of the information inside of what is called a clean data room so that the information will be collected but still remain anonymous.
Yeah. There's definitely solutions to this if we were serious, and that is questionable, right? Every day we are seeing so many violations and there are no consequences. What is that about? You never questioned it? You never wonder how come nobody's doing anything about this? Why? We'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Oh yeah, can't even sleep. Oh yeah, can't even eat. Oh yeah, I don't want to drink. Oh yeah, I should've listened to mommy. Oh yeah, I should've listened to papi. Oh yeah, man, this gal had to take my ring. Oh yeah, I nearly married the golden.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
It is time for your First Look at Traffic, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. A reminder of the work going on in Coconut Grove. This is 4th Street, beginning at Bahama Avenue to Robinson Road. You're asked to avoid the area if you can. Most of that work is taking place between 9:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. It's going to continue for the rest of the week. So keep that in mind in that area. In your real-time traffic right now, we are seeing heavy traffic on Milo Butler Highway from well south of Bellet Road, straight through the Fire Trail roundabout all the way up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. Traffic is backed up eastbound along Fire Trail. You're seeing some congestion along westbound on Fire Trail as well. And Faith Avenue, not looking pretty for you if you're heading northbound from well south of Bellet Road, straight up to Fire Trail this morning. Over on Gladstone Road, it is busy from well south of Fire Trail as well, straight up to John F. Kennedy Drive, Bahamar Boulevard, the roundabout there, especially if you get north, once you get north of Munnings Road, you can see that heavy traffic. Carmichael eastbound to Blue Hill Road, slow-moving traffic there as you try to get onto Blue Hill, which is busy. From there, straight up to Independence Drive. Independence Drive backed up westbound to that roundabout with Blue Hill. And East Street seeing heavy traffic for you north of the Soldier Road intersection. Speaking of Soldier Road, once you get to Prince Charles Drive, you're going to see that heavy traffic westbound on Prince Charles into Robinson Road all the way up to Marathon and East-West Highway. And if you're continuing north on Soldier, heavy traffic on the way to Bernard, Wolf, and Villard. You're not moving from just west of San Souci straight through to Johnson Road westbound at this hour Slow-moving traffic on West Bay Street near Saunders Beach and east of Arawaki heading into the Nassau Street area into downtown Nassau. Those are your hot spots right now. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you. And it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by the 2025 CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships. We've got a weak high-pressure system that's going to move into our area. That feature, along with an extremely dry and stable air mass, is going to support mostly clear skies, gentle breezes, and mild temperatures today, with overnight lows reaching below seasonal norms. So it's going to be a very cool night tonight. A surface ridge is going to strengthen across the area with winds and temperatures gradually increasing as we get closer to the weekend. And some light, short-lived showers may develop during the first half of the day Friday. In the meantime, though, beachgoers and swimmers strongly urged to remain onshore while visiting Atlantic beaches due to the risk of strong rip currents, rough surf lingering in these areas today. For today, a really nice day. Sunny today, turning fair tonight, less than 10% chance of showers, highs near 78 Fahrenheit, 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. Tonight's going to be very cool. For the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, lows around 54 Fahrenheit, 12 Celsius. Even cooler for the extreme northern Bahamas, including Grand Bahama and Abaco, lows near 50 Fahrenheit, 10 Celsius. A little bit warmer for you in the central and southeast Bahamas, but not much. Lows around 59, 60 Fahrenheit, 16 Celsius. For tomorrow, Thursday, mostly sunny, turning fair at night. Friday, partly cloudy at first, turning mostly sunny during the afternoon and fair at night. And by Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds, turning fair at night. This weather check brought to you by the 2025 CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships here at Malcolm Park Beach Soccer Stadium.
Reach the houses, whip, wop, whip, wop, whip, wop. Reach the houses, whip, wop, whip, wop, whip, wop. Reach the houses, whip, wop, whip, wop, whip, wop. I gone by the bar, trying to catch a vibe. Met this pretty young thing, you should have seen them thighs. She start feeling up on me. You think you can handle it, girl? Come meet me outside. We hopped in my car, carry on. We hop in my car, carry on. We hop in my car, carry on. We hop in my car, carry on.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Deandra Cartwright on this Wednesday. Birthday girl, Deandra Cartwright, with us. And a reminder, don't miss it, folks. The CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships continue today at 2 o'clock at the Malcolm Park Beach Soccer Stadium, right at the foot of the Sydney Poitier Bridge. Lots of great matches today, and Team Bahamas plays 8 p.m. tonight. They're facing the USA, so we really need to show up to show support for the Junkanoo boys as they take on the USA tonight, 8 p.m. It's free, folks. Free. So don't miss it. Great action last night. Great stuff. So, yeah. So looking forward to that tonight. All right. So we continue talking about what's in the news. Getting a reaction to that latest murder last night. I'm hearing the update in the news just now. Wow. Deandra? Yeah, there's more to that story, obviously, and
But we were hypothesizing that it has to be something more. There's a reason why we're not hearing as much details as we normally would.
No, I don't know about that. I mean, that just happened a few hours ago, but obviously it wasn't a robbery. Obviously it wasn't random. And hardly ever is it these days around
I was
here.
going to say,
Yeah.
Random behavior. The police themselves actually say that a lot of this behavior is almost expected, depending on what the background may be or whatnot. I'm just not sure if us as the general public would have an appreciation for these things, and maybe that's a good thing, because there's a lot going around and a lot that we don't know about. And to be quite honest, most people don't want to know what's
Oh,
going
you sure
on.
the general public doesn't know this? Oh, okay. A heck of a lot more than.
We're generalizing
Anyway.
when I say public. We know that there are individuals who know more
Oh,
about
okay.
the general public. Do we?
Yeah. We hope, but
Okay, all right.
this is sadly a way of life for far too many people in this country. And I think we have to start playing the games. As a caller said earlier, we got to stop playing games and stop acting brand new. We got a serious problem. This is Dodge City, the modern day Dodge City, and most of the people are doing things. And most of our people will be willing to do nonsense, as we see every morning on the streets right now. Right now, you're looking at your car and you're seeing several people overtake you on the sidewalk and over the median and on the grass and running over that child. Yeah. And nothing's going to happen to them. Got a whole lot of your messages to get to. Oh, boy. Okay, I don't know what just happened there. This person says here, most of the perpetrators are crammed into a sardine can, concrete jungle, struggling for food and housing with no way out in sight ever. At the same time, they are in direct contact with law enforcement and government officials who are making hundreds of thousands to millions off crime. Why can't I get in on that game? I need to get, well, this is what they're saying. I need to get into that too. When we deal with corruption in high places, then we'll have solved eight. Not only will the bad apples go away, but the clog on the money invested in the country will be removed, and money will flow through communities to reach the most vulnerable. Okay.
Powerful.
We'll deal with everything, as we keep saying. Everything, the small things, the big things, deal with it, and swiftly. We're not seeing that, right? High-level cases are taking forever. Things are taking years to make it to court, right?
And that's been the case for years.
Yeah.
That it takes long for these things to happen. And honestly, that's how some of the criminals are operating, because they know it's going to take some time before the case is actually heard.
Mm-hmm.
The system is the system. Everybody has learned the system for the most part,
Yeah.
right? And how to benefit from it, and how to continue to repeat certain crimes or certain actions, and how to teach others to continue that.
I'm glad you used the word everybody, because it really does seem to be extremely pervasive. It is across the board. And even if you have led this wonderful, perfect life, if something were to happen, well, I will call my boy, my friend, my this. And this is where we are. This texter says, what's driving all of this? Our people are poorly social discipline as a nation, and crime is big business. Just like bad health is big business, so is crime. The system does not encourage us to care for one another. Yeah, any plans that can improve our quality of life are done halfway, or not at all. And we wonder why so many are committing suicide. It's a system that we're all drowning in. Wow. If you don't get caught, it's not a crime. LOL. Oh, okay. Yeah, well. This person says, that's on brand for Gladstone Road. We're talking about the chaos on Gladstone Road. Also, my favorite unpleasant internet content. They need to expand that road. Well, I'm sure that won't stop the bad behavior. There'll always be... right, when there are no consequences, 4 lanes, 6 lanes won't be enough. Somebody will create an 8th, a 10th. They'll put some wings on their cars and fly over everybody, right? This is what will happen if you don't deal with the issues. This person says here, this country seems like a failed state. Nothing works. Roads are terrible. Police only turn on the siren when they want to avoid traffic for dates. Well, I think that's what they meant to say. Wow.
That sounds personal.
Happy birthday, Deandra, to my son's birthday twin and my good Anglican friend. Happy birthday, and happy birthday to my son, Edward. Okay.
Good
There
morning
you
and
go.
happy birthday to Edward, too.
This person says here, happy birthday to the birthday lady. In the last days, good will be evil to them, and evil will be good. This is from Exodus 21 through 17. This is still the law for the world. Teach them God's law. Wow. The new commissioner of police, yet the same old traffic routine where the cops are here for 4 hours, then gone for the rest of the week. People are going north on both sides of Gladstone Road every day, and nothing about disclosures, as the public disclosures, as predicted. We elect new governments, and yet same old laws and excuses. The blame games continue. These are the reasons why society doesn't care. To be Bahamian must mean to be taken advantage of and to accept it, a.k.a. a conch. We don't want better. We just want to talk. Wow. It really does seem that way.
So we Shambhaskigas today.
Wow. Wow. This person says that we're all missing the point in this country. Bring back hanging. I'm sure it will curtail the murders for sure. No, it probably won't. But it'll stop that person from murdering. Yeah, it certainly will. But hey, wow. So I keep talking about the little things that we just slap on the wrist, if anything at all, right? And I'm reminded, I have time to go deeper into this a couple weeks ago when we mentioned this on the news, but I was just reminded of this yesterday, and it's really just so disturbing. So this story from March 7th, our Artesia Day was writing about this. Deadly driver awaits sentencing. A man who killed 2 people after he crashed into their scooter will learn his fate next month. 32-year-old Mekanko Bethel appeared before Justice Gregory Hilton for a sentencing hearing yesterday. Last month, Bethel pleaded guilty to vehicular manslaughter in the deaths of DeAndre Woodside and his passenger, Rashawn Roll. Around 1:50 a.m. on October 16, 2023, Bethel was driving an unlicensed and uninsured Mitsubishi on East Street. You got that?
Yep.
When he collided, when he overtook a car, he's overtaking, unlicensed, uninsured, overtaking 1:50 a.m., and collided head-on with the scooter. Now, I don't know what was going on this scooter because there were 3 people on the scooter. How in God's name does that happen? But a third passenger on the scooter was also injured, and she lost a limb as a result of the accident. But Bethel does not face charges in relation to her. No. I don't know why either. Listen to this. Prosecutors are asking the judge to jail Bethel for 2 years and 6 months and to order him to pay $10,000 to the state of each of the deceased.
So their lives are worth 15 months of his life individually, along with 10,000. Wow. Okay.
But the defense lawyer is asking the court to impose a sentence of 1 year with credit for the 8 to 9 months Bethel has spent on remand. The judge will give his decision on April 16th. So there you go. These are the messages we send to folks. Unlicensed, uninsured, overtaking, middle of the night, 3 people on scooter, 1 lost a limb, 2 dead, 2 years. 2 years.
That is insane.
Maybe. Who knows what he'll get? Unlicensed. And where is he supposed to get the $10,000 to the estate for the victims?
The thing is, because I've heard stories about the outcomes of cases, not exactly like this, but same system, where if the person isn't able to, they work out payment plans in some cases. You can imagine.
Work out payment plans how? Where? In jail?
to pay it back because they can't pay it all sometimes.
And why wasn't he charged with the lady who lost the limb?
Well, that was going to be my question right there too, because she lost the limb. She was involved. So you caused an accident in an unlicensed, uninsured vehicle, taking over, or whatnot. I lose a limb, and the state, the system, nothing for me.
This is what we're saying. The little things are treated like this. No big deal. Why are you surprised at the big things happening in the country? Let's take these calls really quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing well.
Dwight, that's you hit the nail on the head just now, and that's why it'd be so frustrating for me when I hear people say, we need to do more, we need to do more. Yes, I understand that we need to do more, but I license my car. I don't carry illegal firearms around. I try and drive within the confines of the law. But at the same time, there's only so much as in we, can do. Like, the police has to play their part. The government has to play their part. Like, the government takes the lead in these things. If the government isn't doing their part, then we as a society will do our own thing. It's like we elect these guys to go in there on our behalf and do the things that need to be done. And they don't do it. Every day we see people driving around like maniacs and no license plate, and motorbikes with no helmet, no license. Like, it's just a lawless society. And it's generational, because if young people see, hey, this person killed this person, nothing happened, what you think they're going to do? Yeah. Every time there's a drive-by, how much times you say, okay, the police caught the car leaving the scene or shortly after? It's like, it seems like they just get away and just vanish in the thin air.
Yeah.
And that's our problem. Like, there's no accountability. None. And just getting drilled into our young people, and they're going with the same mentality. There's no accountability. You can do whatever you want. And that's it.
Their kids are already with that mentality.
And what's frustrating is that you elect these guys who say, I hate to call William Monroe name, but before election, he had all the answers. From CCTV to police body cams and all this stuff. All of a sudden, since he got elected, he got amnesia. So imagine the frustration that I, as a law-abiding citizen, have. What do I do?
Yeah. Wow. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Again, right? In Gladstone Road, every day people are sending us messages. Every day there are posts on Facebook and Twitter of people making their own lanes, driving in the field, driving on top of other people. Nobody's doing anything. And they have to know. They know this. They're not doing anything about it. Why?
That is the question of the hour.
Why? But if a kid gets knocked down, the uninsured, unlicensed driver will get a little slap on the wrist. And then he'll stop for a little bit. And then back to business as usual. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Are you there? No, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Hi.
I had to call you back, man. Because that story which you read was so touching. Because I know I lost two cousins riding on a bicycle, but 30 years ago, same fashion. It was a drunk driver, and the fella was literally drunk driving a truck, and knocked them right into a wall, and killed them instantly. And you know how much time he got, Dwight?
How much?
2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, for each child. And these was kids, they was children. 2 years as a drunk driver, right? Like telling you, this country loves criminals, because if it didn't, we can been a place like almost Cuba, right, where crime almost don't even exist, right? But we love crime in this country. That's why our leaders don't do nothing tangible to cause there to be fear in the minds of people wanting to be drunk and driving.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. A caller earlier said I must get off this thing about CCTV, about the police can't be monitoring CCTV all the time. It's a bad use of resources. Yeah, Japan, Tokyo, the crime rate is minuscule. There was a video this was Sunday morning on CBS. They did a story on an experiment. Somebody left a cell phone in a park, and hundreds of people walked by that cell phone. Not one person even looked at it. They could see it. It was right there, but they didn't even, side eye it or whatever, because they know if you touch that, cameras are going to see it. That's not your phone. Why did you move that? They're not going to look back hours later to see who moved it. They'll know immediately because they're serious about it. You've got a whole lot of people unemployed. If the police can't do it, hire some people, train them to do this. We keep making excuses. We like this. We love this. This is working for somebody. It's paying, as the person says, big bucks to someone. A whole lot of people, probably. So we've got to stop wasting the time talking about it, I guess. Because fall in line. Chaos reigns supreme. Obviously. One final call. Good morning, you're on the air. Are you there? No. Okay. These messages as we go to the break. This person, sorry. Let's take this one. Good morning, caller. You are live on Morning Blend. Okay. This person says here, why do we pay the state and not the victim? Well, this one says that in that matter we just read, they are too late of the victims. So, yeah. This person says here, I seem to recall there being legislation to toughen up these vehicle manslaughter laws from years ago. And here we are still having the discussion about the $10,000 per death as a maximum. Yeah, so I think there's a lot left up to the discretion. And you heard the prosecution seeking this. And that's what they're saying. And so that's the guidelines that the judge will have to work with. He might be able to do his own thing, but I don't know. I saw a private black SUV turn on police lights as it headed west on Eastern Road just before the intersection to Fox Hill. I couldn't hear a siren, so I'm not sure the car had one. They overtook a few cars, and as they came to the island, the island in the road at Fox Hill, I was horrified to see them go around the island into the right lane and into the path of oncoming traffic while speeding. What was that? That was extremely dangerous. The cars on the opposite side of the road would not have expected a speeding car in their lane, and if the SUV did not have a siren, a car turning right on from Fox Hill onto Eastern Road would have not expected the dual lane traffic heading west. And these are supposed to be police officers, so that's scary. By the way, this incident was around 4:45 yesterday afternoon. Yikes. Let me tell you how serious this is. I'm heading to work, and a man stopped on the curve in the Independence roundabout to let someone out of his car, totally obstructing traffic. We need to enforce the minor intersection right there. People are letting people off. There's a lot of folks waiting in the morning around there, and they don't care. They will come off the roundabout and block up the whole thing. Every day. In fact, no, let me not go there today. I'll save that for tomorrow. This person says here, one word describes the lawlessness in this country, corruption. Perhaps, yeah. Another one, the persons responsible with the administration of crime either are not doing their jobs or taking too long to do it. This is the recipe for vigilante justice. We are in a war zone. Oh, boy. Now, listen to this, Deandra. Oh, boy. Law-abiding citizens need to stop paying their licenses. No, why? Since no one gets arrested or fined, it should be okay. Well, don't try it. Don't do that. And then they add, women drivers are the worst. Happy International Women's Day. Yikes. My goodness. Oh, boy. Okay. Anyway, there are many factors that contribute to unlawful behavior and criminality, and that is because the court matters take so long and people believe there are no consequences for their actions. Yep, definitely. It is baffling that the police do not have the resources to police an island 21/7. I don't think they don't. It's something else going on. The mind your business culture is a great factor. We see things and we don't intervene. Remember, by a stranger, everyone just was honking their horns and minding their own business. That woman was assaulted for a while before anyone intervened. We need to go back to being our neighbor's keeper. Why are we complaining about how bad things are? Let's have fun with the mayhem and the lawlessness. It's survival of the fittest and the boldest, the wild, wild west in the Bahamas. I think they're being sarcastic, but clearly some people have that as their personal mantra. Police use their sirens to escape traffic and drop their kids off to school. This is not a real place. Okay. I call traffic almost every week on a police about the Gladstone Road thing, but nothing. Okay. I believe you. They don't care. They obviously don't care. Let's squeeze in this call really quickly, and then we got to go to the break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, thank you for taking the call. The statement you made about Japan and China and those places is very true. The reality is that those nations have a level of discipline that obviously missing in this country. We lack discipline in our country, and that discipline needs to be reinforced from youth on developing our people. We're dealing with adults who don't abide by the law, but we need to change the culture of the young people coming up so much so that they can abide by rules and regulations. But it has to start there. It has to be consistent and has to be reinforced. That's the only way we're going to change the society.
Yes, there has to be consequences. So without...
Agreed.
Right.
But at this stage of the game, we have such a lawlessness that is prevalent amongst the adult population that, it has to start from the younger people coming up, obviously holding those accountable for who have committed such, travesties and crimes and all this stuff. But we have to change. I was riding the other day on Prince Charles, and this young man on the far left lane swerved around to go back up the other lane with oncoming traffic. I mean, it's like lawlessness abounds.
Yeah.
But the reality is we have to change the culture of our people, create more of a disciplined environment, and whereas people can be more respectful of each other.
Sure.
And then we'll have changes in our whole system.
Totally agree. But, I think you can get the adults to change. If that person immediately was met with a ticket or the police caught him at a corner, eventually that attitude will change sooner than you think.
Police are on the streets,
Yeah.
And they catch these guys from time to time. But the reality is there's no consistency in our whole system. As a result, people know it, and as a result, they perform likewise.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for taking the call.
Thanks a lot. Like I say, if there are consequences, if tomorrow or today, all those people doing the nonsense right now on Gladstone Road are ticketed and arrested, fined, whatever it is, things will change. Things will change. But they don't think anything would happen. And so, the attitude continues. Gotta go to a break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Can be sweeter than guava jam. She got all of me. Waist like a horse, ticking the ties. Call me like Uber girl. You come for this ride.
Don't shop at Sherwin-Williams then. Don't get the best service in the Bahamas then.
The love is really, really strong in Sherwin-Williams. We don't just sell paint. We service you with a smile, good hearts, mind, soul, and body. And we love our customers as much as we love ourselves.
Yes, real talk.
I'm not just saying this
Real talk.
to impress myself.
We love to go beyond with customer service. So they feel delighted to come in Sherwin-Williams because they know I can either see Dee Dee, or I can see Shelly, or one of our other wonderful staff members. We treat our customers with the respect of our boss because there are many paint companies they could choose to go to. No, baby. If they go to some other paint companies, so I gonna get this little thing at the end of the week.
We want to make sure you get Dee Dee at Sherwin-Williams Bahamas, and you'll surely find color in every day.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the Know-How team at 396-1101.
All those loans I had were Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
With escalating global conflicts, are you ready for what's next? Join us at RF Bahamas Economic Outlook on March 12th at Bahamar, where top global and local experts will break down the key economic, political, and social trends shaping our future. Hear from Admiral Mike Rogers, former head of U.S. Cyber Command, and more. Plus, gain CPD credits, powerful insights, and high-impact networking all in one day. Don't miss out. Secure your spot now at rfbeo.com. That's rfbeo.com. RF Bahamas Economic Outlook. See you there.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to bill. Name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
What if I told you Wendy's has a new burger? With a flavor so secret, it's almost too delicious to handle. Well, now it's time to unlock that flavor. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger. We can't tell you everything, but we can tell you that it's packed with flavor, including our secret barbecue sauce. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger today. Available for a limited time.
Got your final look at weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. So we're expecting a relatively pleasant day today, as an extremely dry and stable air mass will support some mostly clear skies, gentle breezes, and mild temperatures, with overnight lows getting down to below seasonal norms. So that's going to be a cool night in store. As we go throughout the week, though, short-lived showers are going to develop during the first half of Friday in response to a mid to upper level trough moving eastwards across the islands, and another cold front's expected to emerge off the coast of Florida, moving into the Bahamas by late Monday. High pressure is going to build into the area, accompanied by another injection of cooler temperatures as we head towards Tuesday. Before that, though, for today, sunny, turning fair tonight. Comfortable temperatures for highs today around 78, 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. But tonight is going to be pretty cool. For the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, look for lows near 54 Fahrenheit, 12 Celsius. Even cooler for the extreme northern Bahamas, Grand Bahama and Abaco, looking at lows near 50 Fahrenheit, 10 Celsius. A little bit warmer for the central and southeast Bahamas, high lows near 59, 60 Fahrenheit, 15 Celsius. In your extended outlook for Thursday, mostly sunny, turning fair at night. Friday, partly cloudy at first, turning mostly sunny during the afternoon and fair at night. Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds, turning fair at night. Pretty much the same for Sunday. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints in store or online tonight. Your final look at traffic, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. A reminder of the work going on in Coconut Grove, 4th Street from Bahama Avenue to Robinson Road. That's mainly between 9:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. daily. That work is expected to be done by the end of the week. But avoid the area if you can, or follow the posted traffic signs. In your real-time traffic We're still seeing busy, heavy traffic on Milo Butler Highway from Fire Trail straight up to Tonique Williams Darling Highway. Gladstone Road still busy for you as well, northbound on Boulevard. Blue Hill Road, slow-moving traffic for you from St. Vincent all the way up to Independence Drive, especially near Carmichael and north of Soldier Road. Independence Drive, both directions, east and westbound, especially westbound this morning. Heavy, slow-moving traffic. And Robinson Road, still seeing that slow-moving westbound traffic up to Marathon and East-West Highway. And Eastern Road from just east of Fox Hill to Johnson Road if you're heading westbound. Slow-moving traffic. West Bay Street, not a pleasant place to be right now. We're seeing near Saunders Beach at New Providence Highway if you're heading eastbound. Very slow-moving traffic, heavy traffic this morning. And that will continue eastbound near Arawaki all the way into downtown. Very heavy traffic this morning. Heavier than usual, it seems. Not sure what's going on there. We're going to try to find out for you. Downtown is busy. Shirley Street westbound to Duke Street also seeing slow-moving traffic this morning. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend Traffic Alert brought to you by RBC. StartAConversation.com/loan/all of you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
From we pull up on the road, the party dance, start the waistline out of control. The girls them carrying on back.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with birthday girl Deandra Cartwright. And changing gears now, MD Cares is doing wonderful work. Here to tell us all about this and a whole lot more. We are very happy to have back with us Melissa Major and Dr. Abby Jackson. Good morning, ladies. Great to see you. It's been a while. Let's get those mics up there.
Oh, it's been a while, but we're happy to be here.
Wonderful stuff. Good to see you both. All right, so let people know who aren't familiar what MD Cares is all about.
So MD Cares initiative actually started about 2.5 years ago. And we are currently both Dr. Evans cancer patients as it relates to them navigating the healthcare system. MD Cares initiative, we have two parts. We have a Care Kit initiative that we are currently running, as well as an art therapy program for cancer patients. Cancer patients and caregivers as well. And it's also open to healthcare workers. We haven't had any healthcare workers that have registered yet, but definitely patients and survivors. And so we've partnered with, this literally was birthed out of Legacy Church. And Legacy Church is on JFK for those persons, Pastor Rosemary, who don't know. And we are packing care kits there. So it all basically started with Dr. Abby. She was about to turn 60. And, I've been doing this for a very, very, very long time. And, I told her, hey, this is what I want to do. And she said, let's go, let's make it official. I'm going to raise the monies for you to get started.
Right.
And she did just that. So we're 2.5 years in for MD patient navigation. And MD Cares actually comes under the patient navigation process. And basically patient navigation advocacy, like I said, I help patients. It's mostly one-on-one. I work with patients one-on-one that are in the public health system. The services are free of charge. And what I do is I basically help them to navigate the system, understand a bit more what it is that they're going through step by step, as well as communicate, with some of their family members as well, and sometimes, some of the healthcare professionals.
Yeah. You said a lot there. I have a lot of questions. But we'll get back to you on so many things. But Dr. Abby, let's talk about it. As you remind folks about what you did, which is pretty amazing. And you're still going. But let's remind folks what you did a couple years ago.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Bahamas. Yes, I was turning 60, I'm saying almost 2 years ago now. Time flies. And I wanted to do something to give back. I'm always giving back, but I said, for this particular milestone, let me do something that would support and impact our country a little more. Now, I met Melissa at the Cancer Society because I also went through breast cancer, and 15 years this year, praise God.
Okay, amazing.
And in meeting her, we connected. Over the years, I heard her passion for wanting to do something, and I'm like, Melissa, you need to get going. But of course, funding is always needed and necessary. So I decided, okay, for the 60th, I will run and raise money for MD Patient Navigation and Sister Breast Cancer Group, because that particular organization gives continuously to women and men who are in the fight for cancer. So I ran about 6 or 7 full marathons throughout that year, from the North Pole to the South Pole, and just asked persons to give, and quite a few persons abroad and even in the Bahamas supported and give. And it's still not too late to give. You can just give, And I was able to raise close to $30,000. So I'm grateful and thankful. And that got Melissa off the ground. And I'm like, listen, let's keep this going.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. So the care kits. Tell us about that. What's included in the care kit and why is this so important?
So the Care Kit initiative supports patients with items that they need while they're going through treatment. Like I said, the care kits are donated to public health patients, and these are patients that typically won't get these items. Now, I did my treatment. I'm also a survivor at MD Anderson in Houston, Texas. And normally, when you go to big institutions, you're given these things as you start your treatment. And these are also items that most patients would have in their chemo bag, right? And so
what are some of the things?
So some of the things are, we have soup. There's also water, there's crackers, they have items for nausea like ginger mints, or some of the kits have Panadol, they have socks, they have scarves, they have Tams, they have disinfectants, they have wipes. Some of them have also literature as it relates to you going through your treatment that you can also read about. Right. And did I miss anything? No.
Towels.
Tea bags. They have different types of, teas that are also in the bags. Some of them have little breakfast items as well. So it's items that will get you through it, as well as, possible side effects from treatment afterwards. The kits are valued at $30. And, one of the things that the patients are always grateful for is the socks. Like they just, oh my God, Melissa, thank you for the socks. We donate 100 at a time to public health, oncology, and we would like to continue the rotation. So we're up to about 440 now has been donated to public health. We've also had the opportunity to donate some of the kits to the Cancer Society, got some, and radiation, radiation unit is separate from oncology. They also got some of the kits as well.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Do you need volunteers to put the kits together, or do you do this all yourself?
Well, no, I don't do this all myself. We have a group of volunteers, actually, that as the item comes in. So the kits are housed at Legacy Church. And we have volunteers from the church as well as persons that have been working along with us throughout the process to put the care kits together. And so we're doing good. And, persons have been donating individually, as well as corporate companies have, donated financially, as well as companies have donated items like soup items, the water bags, and all these other things that will go in the kit. So,
So how do you do that? If you want to donate items, if you want to donate money, tell us how to do
If you want to donate items, you could just, you can reach out to me. Persons have been reaching out to me individually. They could also reach out to Dr. Ebby. And, they could actually call us. You can find us on social media. You can drop items off to Legacy Church as well. Someone is there. Palmdale Vision Center as well. So, yeah.
Wow. All right. So you mentioned art therapy. Let's talk about that.
So after we got started with the care kits, working with the patients, one-on-one, sometimes it becomes a lot. And I still do have a 9 to 5 that I work. And so realizing that these patients need a bit more to be able to cope throughout the process, art has been one of my favorite things to do during treatment while I did my treatment, and I was able to take this skill into my survivorship as well.
Did you do art before that?
Yeah, in high school. But like, keep in mind, like I said, Dwight, I went to MD Anderson, which is one of the top universities for hospitals for cancer treatment.
Right.
And during this time, I was given options as it relates to how to better cope. And so, art therapy was one of the things that I did while I was doing my treatment there. Yeah. And, you have, different persons in the community. You have art, they come in and some persons would do cooking, some persons would do dancing and yoga. And, they have just a lot of classes that you could do just to help you cope better, right? Because it's a lot.
Did you think art would help you before you started doing it?
Well, not really, but when I did it, it distracted me, and also a lot of what I did during treatment, because, treatment sometimes it could take anywhere from like 2 to 4 to 6 hours, an entire day. Sometimes you're in the hospital, overnight, and, you need something to help you cope better. And with doing the art, I was able also to take it home. So whenever I got home and, I got in my head the mental, emotional process of having to deal with cancer. Am I going to die? Do I have enough money to pay for this? How am I going to explain this to my family? And it could be just as simple as doodling, right? And then they would give you the art to take home with you. And so I always had something to do. And to this day, I have adult coloring books, the really, and I said adult because it's not like the very big, but it's a bit more, you need a bit more skill,
right?
To do the adult coloring. And so I'm working with Anne-Marie Ferguson. Anne is an art teacher. She's absolutely amazing at what she does. And we also have Nadia Cash, who is a psychologist. And Nadia is also a cancer survivor as well. So she gets it. And so we started art therapy. I had a conversation with Dr. Don DeVoe, and he said from Oak Tree Medical. So Oak Tree Medical actually sponsored the art therapy program, and all the art supplies is free of charge to the patients. We meet every 2 weeks. And so each quarter we have 6 sessions that we do, and we go through basically all of the psychosocial, how are you coping, depression, dealing with your family. What else is it?
More emotional.
It's more emotional, support. And everybody's different in their journey. We have a lot of patients that would have just started. We have patients who have opted out of not doing treatment at all. We have patients that are like 13, 15 years in their treatment. So this also started at, and so I'm doing a community project with the American Cancer Society, which is the Beacon Initiative. And the Beacon Initiative allows for countries to develop patient navigation programs, design patient navigation programs. And this is free of charge. And so I'm working with them to design this patient navigation program. And once again, this is all for public health patients who are underserved and they cannot afford it or might not have the support. Right. And so the Cancer Society housed patients from the Family Islands. And because of that, I approached them about it and they came on board. And so now we're actually operating the art therapy from the Cancer Society so that the patients that are living there, they can get an opportunity to participate in the art therapy program.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say in terms of that. Now, you heard Melissa saying when she was going through, she was able to do this. When I was going through treatment, I can do anything.
Oh, boy.
And so you're going to find there are patients who cannot function, especially during chemo or whatever. But afterwards, you're able to come on board and just do that for support, to release, and to emotional and, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's where we want to ensure that patients, if you're not able to do it now, later on
Yes.
when you've recovered,
Yes.
come on board.
And you mentioned the caregivers as well. You
Yes.
want them to take
Yes.
part. You don't have any yet.
Yeah,
But you're
yeah.
hoping.
Well, no, the caregivers, we do have
You do?
some
Okay,
caregivers
all right.
that come and they participate. I said the healthcare workers.
Oh, healthcare workers.
Yeah, the
Okay.
healthcare workers have not joined us as yet. But, the caregivers are there, the patient, and then persons that, they're done with treatment and they are just enjoying their survivorship time now. And, there's still a lot of big questions after cancer, and you have to go through that process of, survivorship of 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and, all of that. So it's still a lot. And, I'm 23 years in and it's still a process. Wow. Yeah, it's still a process. But I can truly say that I've learned how to cope, and I've learned how to appreciate the resources and to live in this new normal. And, because oftentimes, even at this point, I have to reach out to Dr. Ebby or some of the persons that are involved in the cancer community and say, hey, this is what is happening to me. Can you help me through this process? So, the big thing is I don't want people to be afraid to ask for help. Like, it's okay. Like, you have people that are out there that, we are still going through this and we understand and we get it. So for most patients, with me working with them one-on-one, and after they realize that, okay, you know what, there's an entire community out there, they kind of ease their way into the group therapy, because not everybody does very well in group therapy. And, us Bahamians, we are very private. We are very private. We don't talk to our families about it. And, I just want to cry out to persons today that we need to talk to our families about it. We need to let our families know it's nothing to be embarrassed about or ashamed about. The families, they deserve to know what is happening with you.
Yeah.
And, if I don't want to say if you survive, but if the Lord has brought you through it, you encounter situations where I've lost 2 brothers, I've lost close family members since me. And so it's an ongoing process, and you have to grieve, you have to live, you have to move forward. And so we all need a community to just share, interact, and to support each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so I want to get back to the art therapy in a bit, but you mentioned patient navigation is all part of it. Are there unique issues here in the Bahamas that make this more challenging?
The thing about it is being able to
side from both of you there. Oh boy,
accessing the healthcare system. You're working with the patients, and you really want to, journey with them closer, but being able to get what you need to walk them fully through the process from the time of diagnosis. And we know that public health is somewhat, it's disjointed in terms of what a patient has to go through from the beginning, and starting off with getting their examinations done. And then you got to go to oncology, and then you got to go to do your port, and then you might miss a process. So one thing is to be able to streamline everything so the journey could just be, from one step to the next. But right now we're all about, and we're all over the place, and it's very difficult. Yeah. The hardest part is moving through the system, because the psychosocial part of it is easy because we have that down pack. We have a psychologist on team. We're in the process of getting a nutritionist on team, as well as I'm hoping, Dr. Kitty has already committed to working with us as it relates to symptom management and all of that. But in order to fully work with the patients as it relates to, especially family island patients, right? I think they get the worst part of it, because if they come to Nassau and clinic is canceled, then they have to wait, then they need, someplace to stay, they need food, go back, and then they're not getting the communication, that clear communication as to what is going to happen next. It's not guaranteed that they're going to even be able to see an oncologist. So, sometimes they come here, the doctor's not available, clinic was canceled, and they got to go repeat this process all over again. And it is very, very expensive. And, as it relates to funding, because social services does an amazing job, as it relates to the family island patients and assisting them and them coming to Nassau, it's only so much funding that can happen. You know, the Cancer Society does funding, Sister does funding, DeQuesteros, Jenny Dean does funding. You know, I don't do the funding part of it, right? But it's only so much. So if we can come together, you know, just to communicate to the patients a little bit more, a little bit better in terms of this is what the journey is going to be, it would be so much easier.
Dr. Abby, you're sighing deeply there.
An important factor that we don't take into consideration is for a woman and cosmetic afterwards. I talk to so many women because, for one, I've lost at least 4 major organs during my process, okay?
Oh, my goodness.
For a lot of women, losing their breasts is traumatic. Yeah. And then if they have to go through reconstruction or if they have to take out the ovaries and all of these different things, we don't have that kind of support here to say, look, you have to look at your body. And a lot of women, some who've had reconstruction, it's disgusting depending on who they went to. And for a woman, that aspect of it is very serious and major because you have to live with your body after the fact. So I find here in particular, a lot of the doctors, they just want to do the surgical. Oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. But they don't understand that a woman has to live with her body after the fact. And it could be very debilitating on the mind and then on relationships. So we don't have that kind of support. So I find myself having to talk to a lot of women all the time because they're like, well, how did you, you know, and that sort of thing. And then, of course, going through the process of cancer. We don't have the support here either to say, now, listen, this is what's going to happen. This is what you may expect. I know when I was really long, my oncologist, their nurse practitioner, provided me with a weave to say, look, this looks similar to you. So all of these things, I mean, you hear, so weave to help you with this and tell you in terms of your clothing, your diet, and what you need to do. And so there are many factors involved. And that aspect of it is where we suffer a lot because after treatment, after you've gone through it, a woman has to live with her body. And you're like, I can't deal with it. So a lot of women, it affects them emotionally and in other ways. So
and that's not getting better?
Oh, no, that support is not here. And unsurprisingly, a lady called me from the U.S. this past weekend to talk about, you know, she has to make a decision, what should she do or whatever, because she's not getting, and then if your doctor say to you suddenly, oh, you need to remove it, or, you know, it's like you're just a structure. They don't think of the fact that, okay, these are humans you're dealing with after you've gone through this process, how are they going to live and manage? And a lot of people say, oh, thank God you're still alive. Yeah, I mean, thank God we are, but we have to live with ourselves.
Yeah, that is very tough.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the therapy helps. The art therapy helps to...
Yeah, well, no, it goes beyond just the art therapy because it's, you know, the discussions and what we're learning throughout the process and also getting feedback from, you know, other women or, you know, it's not all just breast cancer because we have colon cancer, cervical cancer. We have persons with different, you know, types of cancer that are a part of the art therapy program. Majority is breast cancer. Adapting to the new normal. You know, how do I go through this new normal? Because a lot of persons afterwards also have the questions of in terms of, you know, they're not able to move the same way. You know, the nutrition aspect is another big aspect of it because outside of, yes, we urge persons to take care of yourself before you even get the cancer diagnosis, but after cancer, you need to take care of yourself. You have to continue to take care of yourself. And there's so much information out there as it relates to lifestyle and food and what to eat, what not to eat. Everybody can't do the green juice thing every day, you know, and so it's a lot of information. So what we try to do is we try to provide the facts. And this is exactly what you need to do to make sure that you get the best out of this new normal as it relates to, you know, your personalized journey. Wow. So, yeah.
Sign up for this.
So you can sign up. You can give me a call. My number is 557-1693. If you call the Cancer Society as well, they have also reached out to the Cancer Society, and the Cancer Society will then get in contact with me if you're not able to reach me. You can also, MD Patient Navigation is on Facebook as well as Instagram. And I am also on Facebook and Instagram, so you can find Melissa Major on any of the social media pages as well as the MD patient navigation pages as well.
Do you have limits as to how many people you can accommodate? Or
So we do 15, between 15 and 20. We do ask persons to RSVP, and that will help us to be able to manage how many persons, more so for Nadia, who is the psychologist, because she would like to get a better understanding of what is happening with each person. So from her perspective, she has asked us to not, make it too big. So, yeah.
Right.
But the one thing I could say for sure is that from we've started, we've had almost 100% of persons that continue to come back. If they don't come back, well, of course, things happen. It's on Saturdays and you have things to do. So outside of having something to do, we have new patients that are coming in, and we've been able to retain those persons that have started with us. So we are obviously doing something. I'm going to say a big shout out to Oak Tree Medical for, allowing us to do this. And of course, we still need sponsors to be able to continue to do this, because there's a lot more that we want to do and continue and build. So, yeah.
Tell us more about that in our final couple minutes here. What more you want to do? What's next for?
So what is next is that, like I said, we have the art therapy program now. And so these are considered to be navigation care groups, right? These are the components that a patient would normally go through as it relates to their new normal, their cancer treatment, right? So we have the psychosocial part of it down packed. We would like to now do the nutrition part of it. And that is always, every patient is like, I'm a certified health coach, and the reason why I did that was because I got tired of people telling me what to eat, what to do, and so I completely get it. And as we go through art therapy, we also discuss these elements as well. And then, of course, symptom management is another big part of it. Dr. Ebby would have talked about the reconstruction that women would have to go through. So symptom management, lymphedema, pain management, that is also a big part of it. There is also the legal aspect of it, that patients, as it relates to the insurance part of it, as it relates to your living, what is it called? The living, you have
living
a
will?
living will in terms of what will happen to me, what will happen to my children, especially for women, what will happen to my children in the event that I was to die, would the country get involved, or, would it be my family or my church, or if I have young kids. So there is also
a lot
that.
to have to think about.
And then, of course, there is palliative care, right? For persons that might be, their last stages and they need additional treatment. We don't have a hospice here in the country as yet. The Cancer Society is also fundraising for this hospice. So there are different elements that patients deserve to have access to immediately. And of course, if you don't have the funding, if you don't have the insurance, most people will not get access to these components of what you need for your treatment.
And healthcare is not cheap.
No.
We have to be realistic here.
Yeah.
A lot of us live the way we want, don't take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And then when we face a life-threatening illness or a major comorbidity disease, we're now subjected to the public health system, and then we complain and lambaste them because, we can't get what we want, or, the medicine or this, but someone has to pay for it, Dwight.
Yeah.
It's not free.
So to be able to work with public health, and I can truly say that, I sent a letter to them saying that this is what my intentions are, and they have been providing the patients, with the information to come on out. But what we need is a partnership to say that I am going to feed the patients into the program. We are going to see in terms of making sure that from an evidence base, the patients are having the best outcome as it relates to their treatment, because that is what is most important, is that, you want a great outcome from, I'm going through my treatment. So this whole psychosocial part of it is so very. A lot of persons, Dwight, it is a lot. And before I'm sorry. I know when Dr. Ebby and I were coming in, and I was telling her about a patient, that I'm dealing with. It is a lot, and persons they're just checking out, and they're like, you know what, whatever, I'm just gonna deal with it. But you have help that is available to you. It's more than just you need the money because you need to pay your bills. You know what I'm saying? But the mental part of it also is very, very important. And that's why we started off with the art therapy, because we want you to be mentally strong. We want you to know that you have someone that's going to stand up and fight for you. And we're going to make sure that, you get what it is that you need. We have persons that, literally last session, I talked about the fact that you have cancer patients that actually suffer from malnutrition. They starve because they hear people telling them, don't eat this, don't drink this, and so they're so fearful, they don't want to eat, and then they're not doing well through their treatment, and we're trying to figure out what is going on. But the problem is that they're not eating. They're not eating.
And when we were in treatment, I couldn't keep down a lot of things because my chemo drugs were really strong. But they would say, eat whatever you could eat.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So that sounds like an oxymoron, because people tell you, oh, you don't eat sugar, or you don't eat this, or you don't eat that. But when you're going through treatment, you eat whatever the body can survive off during that time. But you have to make sensible choices after you have recovered. And then, of course, exercise is key, priority.
Yeah. Wow. Got a couple questions as we get ready to wrap this up. Somebody's asking, again, for the contact information, of course, and if they're interested in donating, what do they do? Remind folks about
Okay. So if you're interested in donating, you can reach me at 557-1693. That's my telephone contact. As well as you can drop the information to Palmdale Vision, which is in Palmdale, Dr. Ebby Jackson. As well as you can drop anything off to Legacy Church right before the Red Cross.
Right.
Yeah.
And MD Patient Navigation, this is for men and women.
This is for men, women, children, patients, caregivers. I am here and I am available to work with patients. And like I said, we have a group setting as well as the majority of what I do. I work with patients one-on-one, as well as being an advocate for the entire cancer community. I've been in it for a very long time now. Yeah.
And you've got a wonderful Facebook page. You can see some of the artwork there.
Yes.
MD Patient Navigation. You can find them. Online. Ladies, keep up the great work that you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for this opportunity. This is
our pleasure.
This is good because people need to know, you have the support out there, and I also work with, from a health perspective too, like I said, I've not been doing as much as the health coaching as I used to, because I've been really focused on the patient navigation, working with the patients. But, if persons need assistance as it relates to their health, I'm open to it. Yeah.
Melissa Major, thank you. Dr. Abby Jackson, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
MD Patient Navigation and Cares. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll talk again soon.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. We'll go to the news and get to business. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Escalating global conflicts? Are you ready for what's next? Join us at RF Bahamas Economic Outlook on March 12th at Bahamar, where top global and local economic, political, and social trends shaping our future. Hear from KT McFarland, former Trump National Security Advisor, and more. Plus, gain CPD credits, powerful insights, and high-impact networking all in one day. Don't miss out. Secure your spot now at rfbeo.com. That's rfbeo.com. RF Bahamas Economic Outlook. See you there.
Everybody Wins Live
Live is bringing you the ultimate giveaway, a brand new Cybertruck. For every $30 spent, you're in the drawing for the ultimate grand prize, a Cybertruck. Drawing live at the Vibes Cartel concert March 29th. You'll also be automatically entered to win tickets to see the world boss himself. 25 lucky winners every single week. Visit everybodywinslive.com to get into the game. See website for full terms and conditions. Must be 18 or over to participate.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, March 12th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Deandra Cartwright with us on this Wednesday. Happy birthday again to Deandra Cartwright. Thank you for being here on your birthday. Hope we're not keeping you from your birthday brunch or something.
Still here, Dwight.
Okay. All right, wonderful stuff. Folks are still asking for Melissa Major's contact information with MD Cares MD Patient Navigation. 557-1693. 557-1693. Again, they're on Facebook, and we'll post it on our social media, Morning Blend, today as well. All right, so we're expecting folks to talk about World Consumer Rights. Schedule them before the day, which is March 15th. But we are also going to talk about SpaceX and the latest there. The big headline in the Nassau Guardian today. Reports of debris off Andros now. And so the search is expanding. Our Candia Dame's writing about it today. The search for debris from the exploded SpaceX Starship rocket that fell in Bahamian territory last week set to expand to Andros after reports that some debris has washed up there. That's according to Director of Department of Environmental Planning and Protection, Dr. Rhianna Neely. She says that the heat shields recovered along the coast of Ragged Island will be tested to confirm whether the material poses risks to marine life. Neely was asked whether there is any evidence of damage to marine life. She said, quote, "At this time, the answer is no. There are some things that are outstanding with respect to the material for the heat shield. They seem to be flaking off pretty quickly, and they have the potential to turn into microfragments." This was brought before SpaceX, and we're waiting on any studies they have, but we will be doing our own assessments, as well as on the materials that we found along the coastline. You could see that these are potentially harmful to marine life if ingested. Let's read that again. These are potentially harmful to marine life if ingested. And we've been hearing that for years about plastics and microfragments and seafood that we consume. And that always is a concern. So that is unsettling, perhaps. Neely says that a SpaceX recovery team remains in the Bahamas, and they're involved in the search for debris from the Starship rocket, which launched from Starbase in Boca Chica, Texas, on Thursday, breaking apart and falling over the Bahamas, causing mass concern among Bahamians, of course. Neely says that the heat shields from the rocket were found along Ragged Island. So far, the team has searched along Crooked Island, Acklands, and Exuma. Neely says the heavier material from the rocket has not been found as yet. She says, quote, "We need to send for some more equipment. We need to get some sonar and other equipment to be able to assist us further because we expected some of the heavier debris to fall into much deeper water. We're unsure if it actually went into the deep water. If we may be able to retrieve it, that may produce some restriction in getting it, but the thing is to make sure that none of it is in the shallow water where we experience high biodiversity, coral reefs, and a lot of the fish that we use. She says, we're getting some reports that some more debris is washing up on the west side of North Andros, so we're going to check that out. The next step is to go and do deeper marine studies to see if we can find some of the heavier debris in waters that we can actually reach. If it has fallen to the bottom of the ocean, that's 1,000 to 2,000 feet, it's very unlikely that we will be able to retrieve them. But if we are able to retrieve them in waters of 100 feet within that range, we will have SpaceX go in and get the debris. So the government said on Sunday that the Starship rocket components that comprise the debris are composed of stainless steel and heat shield tiles that are made of silica, neither of which pose risks to water or air quality or marine life, according to studies conducted by U.S. regulatory agencies. The government said Bahamian authorities will conduct independent environmental assessments at debris landing sites. So, is it different to you than what the DEP director is saying? It sounds a little bit different, right? That this could break into fragments that could be dangerous to marine life. No? Or is it just me? Maybe it's just me. The assessments will include testing for toxic contaminants, residual rocket fuel, for example, and any indications of seabed disruption. Additionally, independent sampling of air and water quality will be conducted. Neely is advising anyone who comes into contact with what they believe may be debris to contact DEP. She says, quote, we really need Bahamians to call in and advise if they see what they think is debris, mariners in particular. If you have sensitive equipment on your boat and you're able to find or sense metals in the ocean and you think it could be something that's significant for us in this regard, please call DEP or send us an email. Now, the government had said that SpaceX is committed to removing all the debris under Bahamas government oversight. Neely said yesterday that they are responsible for removing their waste and the department will hold them to that. She says, quote, if you come across something, please advise us and we will be there to assess and to remove it if it is SpaceX debris. All right, so let's get your reaction to that, folks. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Give us a call, toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. It sounds like this is going to be long. This is going to be long. We've got some text messages, 422-4796 as well. Okay. This texter says here.
Sorry.
You go on, Deandra. We'll get to the text.
I was going to say, Dwight, when we're talking about environmental matters, impacts such as this, the microfragmentation, especially if it's metallic in nature, is an expectation. I'm just wondering if all of the potential outcomes or, the reality that, they will have to salvage these things. And if they don't, it's going to break apart in our marine and our waters. If we fully consider it, I haven't seen anything, but I'd love to see if there's an impact document to say what would be the long-term plans for this, because asking the public to help, that's a great thing. But it also signifies that we don't have the technology to find every piece that goes down. And is this the first time? Will it be a second time or a third time?
Yeah, indeed. And again, what will be the impact over a longer period of time if it's left there and it's not collected? Is that going to mean something different? Will that change the makeup of these things? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. But
right, and the makeup of things, as in the, I guess the flights themselves, which ship out from Texas, but of course it's landed in our waters and far beyond our waters as well, possibly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, our number one industry is tourism. Our third is marine resources. We depend on the water. And I'm just trying to, again, I would personally love, I'm asking a question. Is there an impact document to show us in systems such as this, which will not most likely be the only time this happens, what will be our economy to protect our environment? We have to be very serious about these things.
Yeah. And as we've been talking about it all week, it's still so unsettling because even again, if we say, hey, we got to not do this Falcon 9 thing, this is totally different. It's a different program, and things can go wrong and it can happen again. And so even if we remove ourselves from this, we can't really remove ourselves from this, which is very scary. Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Ms. Cartwright again. You know, Dwight, we're beginning to feel the effects of the new dope called hope, where we say we just sit and hope that we have an end around this. We basically have no comprehension of exactly what it is that we are doing. Where we ignore the very thing that we are sitting in. You know, tourism provides 10% of the employment and the impact around the world. And comparative to this space tourism that we say, it's not even in the same range. You look at hospitality and tourism.
Well, I mean, it's new though, right? So it could
I know it's
grow.
New, but you know, it's like what you say. Let's just get rid of the bird in the hand and go look for two in the bush. But Dwight, you know, the studies, right? First of all, I hear they say about salicylia, right? It does have an impact. It's more so on our environment because we have a balance of we may not know it, but we have a very sensitive ecosystem. I mean, dealing from our algae species to various biomass and other things to live there. You know, so it's a statement to say, based on what the U.S. say, the impact on water is different from salt water, and it's different from salt water with a biodiversity. So that statements don't mean a whole much to me. But what I'm simply saying is that we are, as you say, but let's be said, right, this is the same rocket, just two different purposes it was using for. But we will be impacted globally, regardless of it's in this new so-called space tourism or race to put things in space. The problem is that as a country, we have to have some strategy for our territorial waters as well as what impacts our exclusive economic zone. And, you know, whether we supposedly endorse this or not, this is where, from a countrywide perspective, finding out how we fit into the so-called global picture as the world shifts and having agreements and other different things to protect us as a country as opposed to reacting to various different things that happens at any particular time. You ask those people who are talking, whatever, say, exactly what is the impact on the diatom populations based in the Bahamas, you know, concerning ocean acidification and all these different things. And we just like to talk on the surface of things. And this is where, as a country, we spend, how much are we spending now? $75 million a year for consultants, another $50 to $75 million a year for return people. But we don't see it's important to insist that the Bahamas will exist for the next 100 years or whatever, that we should have a strategy for our existence for 5, 10, 50, 30 years. And the fact that the world is changing, we're pretending. We're pretending to be a country and we need leadership.
All right, thanks a lot. Let's take another call really quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning to your co-host. Yes. And happy birthday.
Morning. Thank you.
What I wanted to ask is, listening to all of what you guys were saying, you know, I want to find out if you think there is any chance of our government cutting this contract off, because it sounds like it's getting a little more scary because these pieces are falling for now in the water. Who knows where, on someone's home or on the school or on the hospital, because this is getting too close for comfort. And I didn't realize, because I never really followed up on it much, that this thing is so popular with exploding in the sky. You know, those pieces are coming down and they can easily, a breeze can pick one up and drop it anywhere. So I want to
Again, we could. I'm sure we could. I mean, actually, I'm not sure. But more than likely we can. But this was not related to the thing we have the agreement with. So it could be happening on the other side of the world. Satellites could fall out of the sky. And
no, I understand that.
Right.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
However, what I'm talking about is what we're seeing happening daily with this SpaceX. They are exploding daily. Or almost every time they hit the sky, something else explodes. So that's what I'm talking about. There's a possibility of a lot of stuff happening, but this is something that's actually happening on a regular basis.
Right.
So that's why I was curious.
It's frequently, sure. But it will happen whether we are part of Falcon 9 experiment or not. And that is the scary thing. Musk's quest for space travel is bigger than us, it seems. It seems. So, right now, do we have what it takes to deal with issues if they arise? That's the question. So we got a lot of your text messages asking the same thing. This text here, Dr. Neely mentioned that they don't have all the necessary equipment, so can we really trust them to conduct a thorough investigation and inspection? It's concerning that they are not checking the larger items in deep water. Common sense tells us that those would have the biggest impact on the seabed. Well, I don't know. And I heard what the government said last week, but at least Dr. Neely isn't a politician because politicians always twist the truth. Wow. All right. This text here says, in the case of SpaceX, if one is a neurologist, one does not get to wake up the next day and say, I'm going to test concrete for a skyscraper as tall as, okay, what's happening here? Do we have an astronomy expert? Okay. Anyway, this texter here says, our government is encouraging the launching of the unsafe, SpaceX crafts by giving them somewhere to land. If countries do not allow the landing, it will force SpaceX to make flights more safe and less risky. I don't think that's right at all what you're saying. What? No. Okay. Things happen. Things do happen. But what do you do when they do happen? Are we able to handle it? And that's the big question. And this text here, the government needs to be speaking to the FAA about what is and what is not. The only conversation with SpaceX should be, here's what we expect you to do and within this timeline. Sure. I heard you. Isn't it ironic that we did away with plastic bags that could harm marine life only to greenlight a project where rocket debris is scattered across the sea? I heard you mention microplastics. Some research indicates that there is no manner to remove microplastics from the human body, and some indicate that removing microplastics from your body is not easy and is a continuous effort. Can't imagine how you would even try to do it. What about all the cruise ships that dump in our waters, including raw sewage? Okay, what about it? If the government cancels the SpaceX program, Elon Musk will own half the Bahamas in the contract. Okay, so we've got jokes too. Hey, we got to take a break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're going to be back in just a bit. Stay with us.
You got a rude awakening coming, 'cause we ain't got no time to play. So when they see the trees start running, they better move out the way. Yes, 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 they know I'm a real big deal. Hey, I'm a real big deal. Yes, they know I'm a real big deal. Hey, I'm a real big deal.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
With escalating global conflicts, are you ready for what's next? Join us at RF Bahamas Economic Outlook on March 12th at Bahamar, where top global and local experts will break down the key economic, political, and social trends shaping our future. Hear from Admiral Mike Rogers, former head of U.S. Cyber Command, and more. Plus, gain CPD credits, powerful insights, and high-impact networking all in one day. Don't miss out. Secure your spot now at rfbeo.com. That's rfbeo.com. RF Bahamas Economic Outlook. See you there.
Spain sounds like this. But with a little Caribbean, it can sound like this. The world needs more Caribbean. And with FedEx, you can ship your products to every corner with increased cargo capabilities, 24/7 shipment tracking, and shipping tools. Take your business worldwide and enjoy life a bit more like us.
Hola, República Dominicana. Send 3 money transfers using GK Money Services Western Union, and you'll be automatically entered to win a trip for 2 to Punta Cana. Prize includes airfare, transportation, and 3 nights at an all-inclusive resort. Follow us on social at GKMSBAH for more info. Hola, República Dominicana. Send today with Grace Canadian Money Services and Western Union. Promotion ends March 31, 2025.
I've been up at Pinda and I meet him in the showroom. I said, Pinda, I just come out of a showroom in Portugal, and let me tell you something, them showroom and selection ain't got nothing on yours. Man, I like this stock of porcelain. It's the range of sizes that come in. 8 by 48, 12 by 24, 24 by 24. And what I really, really like more than the things I really like is the price. From $275 a square foot to $494 a square foot and all in between. You can't beat that. Not even with a 2x4 from Enterprises.
Can you describe your mother in one word? Is she strong, fun, loyal? However you describe her, Pandora Jewelry is here to help you find the perfect gift for your one-of-a-kind mom this Mother's Day. Choose a piece from the all-new Bonds of Love collection, or give her something personalized like a necklace, ring, or charm from our floating locket collection. This Mother's Day, do celebrate who she is. Shop Pandora Jewelry now. Visit us at Pandora 329 Bay Street at the corner of Parliament Street.
The Central Bank is continuing to recognize outstanding scholarly work by Bahamian college students. The T. Baswell Donaldson Research Prize of up to $20,000 will be awarded for the winning research paper on any topic in economics, finance, or business related to the Bahamas. Selected to participate in the summer research seminar organized by the Central Bank. Submission deadline is April 30th, 2025. For more details, email exr@centralbankbahamas.com.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
It is time for your morning business report, brought to you by Seafowl. The Royal Beach Club, being built by Royal Caribbean International Paradise Island, will coexist alongside any neighbors to the west or east of the development. That's according to President of Royal Caribbean Group Bahamas, Philip Simon, in response to questions about the prospective developer of a beach concept on Paradise Island, Toby Smith. When RCI began its bid to build the beach club on Paradise Island, there were concerns the Crown land leases acquired by the government encroached on Crown land leases that were allegedly given to Smith by the government. Eventually, RCI reduced its holdings so that there would be no controversy between any development Smith was interested in doing and the cruise line's development, which also includes 13 acres of privately held property acquired over a number of years. You can read more about that in today's Guardian Business section. Meanwhile, the Royal Beach Club is halfway through its construction phase, with the project still on target for its December opening. RCI's Chief Product Innovation Officer, Jay Schneider, who joined a media tour yesterday, said most of the foundations for the structures that will exist at the Beach Club have already been poured. Yesterday, workers were busy making the final preparations. And RCI expects its ships to bring some 3.5 million people to Nassau by 2027 as it brings more Icon-class ships into service and improves its visitors' experience with the opening of the Beach Club product. There have been fears that RCI will absorb many of the cruise passengers into the Royal Beach Club, taking business away from downtown Nassau. However, Schneider explained that the beach club will only be able to accommodate 1 million people throughout a calendar year, leaving some 2.5 million to float through Nassau. And construction industry professionals are warning that the proposed Occupational Health and Safety Act enforcement, president of the Bahamian Contractors Association, Leonard Sands, telling Guardian Business that whatever legislation the government amends and or passes with regard to health and safety in the workplace will be a waste of time if there's no enforcement. Sands' comments coming after it was revealed that the National Tripartite Council is currently undergoing consultations for an occupational health and safety bill. Council member Peter Gowdy says the legislation should be ready for Parliament before the end of this calendar year. Overseas, U.S. President Donald Trump officially increased tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports to 25% today, promising that the taxes would help create U.S. factory jobs at a time when his seesawing tariff threats are jolting the stock markets and raising fears of an economic slowdown. Trump removed all exemptions from his 2018 tariffs on the metals, in addition to increasing the tariffs on aluminum from 10%. His moves, based on a February directive, are part of a broader effort to disrupt and transform global commerce. The Republican president has separate tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China, with plans to also tax imports from the European Union, Brazil, and South Korea by charging reciprocal rates starting on April 2nd. The EU announced its own countermeasures Wednesday. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen says that the United States was, quote, applying tariffs worth $28 billion. We are responding with countermeasures worth 26 billion euros, or about $28 billion. Those measures, which cover not just steel and aluminum, but also textiles, home appliances, and agricultural goods, are set to take effect on April 1st. Canada is the largest foreign supplier of steel and aluminum to the United States and responded with its own countermeasures. More on what Canada is doing. Canada announcing $29.8 billion in retaliatory tariffs in response to the 25% steel and aluminum tariffs Trump levied. That's $20.7 billion US dollars. The official confirming this to the Associated Press was speaking on condition of anonymity. And U.S. inflation slowed last month for the first time since September, and a measure of underlying inflation fell to a four-year low, even as widespread tariffs threatened to send prices higher. The Consumer Price Index increased 2.8% in February from a year ago, according to Wednesday's report from the Labor Department, down 3% the previous month. Core prices, which exclude the volatile food and energy categories, rose 3.1% from a year earlier, down from 3.3% in January. The core figure is the lowest since April 2021. The declines were larger than economists expected, according to a survey by data provider FactSet, yet they remain higher than the Federal Reserve's 2% target, and most economists still expect inflation will remain elevated this year as Trump's tariffs kick in. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Tuesday, your market movers, APD Limited moving 115, closing at 44.64 unchanged. Cable Bahamas moving 9,450, down 36 cents to 325. Galena Holdings moving 1,000, up 2 cents to $12.03. FamGuard moving 1,500, unchanged at 610. Consolidated Water up 10 cents, closing at 5.66. And Emira Incorporated down 4 cents, closing at $10.07. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 3,021.37, down 0.28. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. That is going to do it for us today. Deandra Cartwright, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful one, and we'll see you soon. Enjoy. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Everybody have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
You work hard for your money, so let your money work hard for you. With as little as $1,000 to start, you can watch your money grow by investing in CFAL's Bahamian dollar and US dollar mutual funds, each tailored to match your unique investment profile. Our expert advisors are dedicated to crafting personalized investment strategies to help you achieve your financial goals. Don't miss out on the chance to earn higher returns on your hard-earned money. Join the thousands of investors who trust CFAL and start your journey toward financial freedom today. Visit us at cfal.com to learn more about our saving and investment options. And let us help you build wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.